Hello guys, it is Gative Theories here, and the brand new trailer for Toy Story 4 has just been released, and there is so much going on in this trailer that will help us to work out what happens in Toy Story 4. So today we are going to be doing a full trailer analysis of the Toy Story 4 trailer. If you haven't seen it, then you can go and check it out by looking at the link in the description that we will leave there down below. So make sure that you go and check it out, and anyway, let's get on with this analysis. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I first saw this trailer is nothing about what Woody was saying, and I wasn't really paying any sort of attention to that. Instead, I was looking at Bonnie's bag. Now, it's not really something that you would pay attention to, but have you noticed that it has been changed from that really cool Buzz Lightyear bag that she had in Toy Story That Time Forgot? And now her bag is purple with pink hearts on it, instead of that Buzz Lightyear one that we all absolutely loved. Now, this could be that she only takes her Buzz Lightyear bag from Toy Story That Time Forgot when she's taking the toys out, and we see her doing this in Toy Story That Time Forgot. And the other purple bag is for when she just goes to Sunnyside. Now that could be it, so she might still have that Buzz Lightyear bag, but either way, she has definitely got a different bag from the one that she took to Sunnyside in Toy Story 3, as that was blue with flowers on it, whereas this one is of course purple with pink hearts on it. Next, we see all of the toys, but for some reason, Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head aren't there, but we later see they are when it zooms out. However, we don't see the 3 peas in a pod, Truckles, or Totoro, and we actually don't see them throughout this entire trailer. Now, this could be that they're in a different room to the rest of the toys, as in Toy Story 3 we always see Truckles by the window, but at the end he is with the rest of the toys and he is in Bonnie's room, as he's not worried about Lotso anymore, so he should be in Bonnie's room in the scene. And as for the other toys, they should also be in Bonnie's room as well. I mean, they wouldn't just stay in the basket, would they? Now, this could just be, again, that they're not in any of the scenes in the trailer, or it could mean that they have left Bonnie's house for good now, and they might have gone on to a different owner, which is really annoying because I really like Truckles. Now, behind the toys, we see the same windmill that literally hasn't changed position from when Woody first came into Bonnie's room in Toy Story 3. I mean, look at this. This is the first scene when we ever see Bonnie's room in Toy Story 3, and Woody is sat down with the rest of the toys. And behind Woody is the same windmill in the exact same place. And then in this new trailer, and it's set probably years after Toy Story 3, and we see it literally has not moved one bit. We can just see it from a different angle. And we also see some sort of crafted pretzel thing. I'm not really sure what that is, and we see Bonnie has made a hat stand for the toys, but most likely for Woody and Jessie, as well, they have hats, and Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head. Now, we can see in this trailer, she's really into making different things. So, arts and craft stuff, basically. As we can see, she has made the hat stand herself, and she probably made this weird pretzel thing that we don't really know what it is. We know from Toy Story 3 how much she loved to draw all the different toys, so it only makes sense she would like making stuff as well. And it probably suggests Bonnie is going to be some type of artist when she grows up, and we see her creating Forky, so she's obviously into all those loads of arts and crafts stuff. Now, this trailer is all about the character Forky, who we got introduced to in the teaser trailer, and also all about how Woody finds Bo Peep again, who we found out was returning a couple of months ago. We can now see how Forky was made, and he's made by Bonnie in Sunnyside in what looks like the butterfly room. We then see that Bonnie and the rest of the toys with her family are travelling in their camper van and are going away on a holiday, but we don't know where yet. We see Bonnie playing with Forky, and we can also see Woody on the table and Dolly and one of Mr. Potato Head's arms, and we can tell it's his and not Mrs. Potato Head by the tiny bit of blue we can see from his shoe, which is just sticking out in the bottom right hand corner. Now we can see that Bonnie has done the same thing that Andy always did with his toys, where he would write his name on the bottom of their boots, except this time Bonnie has done it on the bottom of Forky's lolly stick legs in green pen. Also, for some reason, we can see a purple box behind her with the same glue in that she used to create Forky at Sunnyside. Now, before we said she's really into arts and crafts, and this further suggests that she loves making things, as she's literally brought a bottle of glue with her on holiday. This will probably also be to fix Forky if he breaks as well. I assume it's a different bottle from the one that she used at Sunnyside to create Forky, and that she actually used the glue that they have at Sunnyside, and it's just the same brand of glue, as I doubt she'd bring in her own glue into nursery, because that would just be weird. We next see Bonnie asleep in her car seat cuddling Forky, who looks worried, as we know he clearly doesn't want to be there, as he doesn't think he should be a toy, as we have seen from the teaser trailer before. Throughout all the trailer, we see that Bonnie absolutely loves Forky, but seeing as Forky is alive, it does prove the theory that it's a child's love for something that makes it come to life, and Woody kind of confirms this when he tells Forky this later on in the trailer.
You're Bonnie's toy. You are going to help create happy memories that will last for the rest of her life.
We can obviously see this theory happening through Forky, as he's literally a spork, but also Andy did make things that weren't toys come to life, such as Mr. Spell and Etch-a-Sketch. And if you want to go and find out more about this theory, then you can go and click the card. Now, next we see Woody looking at Bonnie cuddling Forky, but behind him is a person. I'm guessing this is just the TV, or it could be two completely different scenes that have been put together in the trailer to trick us and make us think that they're actually next to each other, but they aren't. And it could be an actual person that Woody has to say frozen for, as you know, he looks like he is being frozen in this scene, and he wouldn't be frozen if Bonnie was asleep, if you see what I mean. Next, we finally see probably one of the biggest parts of the trailer that tells us what the plot of Toy Story 4 is going to be about. We see Forky jump out of the window as he doesn't want to be Bonnie's toy anymore, and Woody runs out of the moving caravan to follow him. As usual, this Toy Story is going to be about a lost toy, as they always are, so this one's going to be about how Woody and Forky are lost and the rest of the toys have to try and find them. Now, we finally get to see what Woody and Forky are like alone together for the first time, and we see it's like how Woody and Buzz were originally in Toy Story 1. Basically, they find each other incredibly annoying. Forky is like Buzz, such as how he doesn't think he's a toy, only this time he doesn't think he's a space ranger, and Woody is like how he was in Toy Story 1, only this time he doesn't want to get back to Andy, but Bonnie, and also wants to get Forky back to Bonnie. Next, we see where Bo Peep has been living all these years since Toy Story 2. We first see the town's name, which is Historic Downtown Grand Basin, and it's surrounded by several shops. Now, Woody goes to the window of a shop where we can see things look like they're on display, as the clock in the corner is facing out, not in, suggesting it's for people to see. Anyway, Woody sees a bedside light curling and lit up with sheep on it, where he instantly guesses it might belong to Bo Peep. Woody and Forky then climb through the letterbox, and we can see some Easter eggs as stickers on the glass of the door. They then go inside and they see loads and loads of stuff. Now, it kind of looks like this shop is some sort of antique store, and there is loads of things going on in this shop, so we can't discuss loads of them as we'd be here all day. But there is a minor detail that's either a mistake or again the trailer is trying to trick us by putting two separate scenes together that shouldn't be. As we can see, it's light outside but it's not sunny, suggesting it's early in the morning. Yet in the scene before this in the trailer, we can clearly see it's night and the clock shows us that it's around 25 to 11. And seeing as it's night, I'm guessing it's 25 to 11 p.m, not a.m. So why is it light outside as soon as they go inside? It wouldn't take them a whole night to sneak into this antique store. So it's probably two different scenes that the trailer has put together to try and trick that they are actually together in the movie, or it's just a really bad mistake. We next see Woody and Forky in a part of the shop, and we can see in the top left hand corner an antique coffee cup which looks like an Easter egg for Mrs. Potts and Chip from Beauty and the Beast. Next, we are finally introduced to brand new characters, which are antique dolls. We first see a doll with a blue blazer on and a red bow tie on, and he's next to an old pram. Then we see the other doll pop out from the pram. The doll then starts coming towards Woody and Forky, and they seem really scared of the doll, except I doubt these dolls are actually going to be the threat, and instead help, as Pixar, and especially the Toy Story films, tend to just have the villain being really friendly at the start, and then turning evil at the end, such as Stinky Pete, and the most well-known one being Lotso. So seeing as Woody is worried about these dolls right now, they're probably going to turn out good in the end and not actually be that bad. Next, we see several creepy dolls chasing after them, but again, this is probably a trick to making us think these are villains. Bo Peep then appears and helps Woody and Forky escape, and she is speaking as if the dolls are bad, but they're probably just a small antagonist and will probably help Woody save the day against the real threat later. Woody, of course, is then worried and says that they need to return back to their kid, but we can just see in these few seconds how much Bo has changed since we last saw her. Her clothes and even the way she walks are all different, and she even goes to the point of being sarcastic towards Woody when she says this.
Aw, Sheriff Woody always coming to the rescue.
Now, she would never have said that before in Toy Story 1 or 2 to Woody, so obviously between the time of Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 4, she has changed a lot. We then see Bo take Woody to the theme park, which is where she's been all this time, except Forky seems to have now disappeared for some reason and isn't with them, so this must take place during the middle of the movie and Forky is somewhere else, but it doesn't give us any direction to where he has gone. We next get to see our first look at the full fun fair, and there is many Easter eggs in this. The most obvious one is probably the pizza stand at the bottom, which is a reference to the Pizza Planet, and before, when Woody and Bo are talking, it kind of looks like they're in a car, so they could be in a Pizza Planet truck for all we know. Anyway, we can also see the antique shop at the back of the fun fair, so we know how they moved from the antique shop to the fun fair, as it's literally right next to it. We then see Forky again with Woody, and he says this.
Oh, Woody, aren't we going to Bonnie?
Now that line just suggests that Woody has now persuaded Forky that he needs to be there for Bonnie, except when Forky says this, Woody starts walking away with sort of an uncertain look on his face. This tiny clip here literally tells us what the plot of this movie is going to be. Woody's uncertainty is suggesting he's listened to Bo and wants to stay with her instead of returning back to Bonnie. Sort of like how he decided to join Woody's roundup instead of going back to Andy in Toy Story 2. I mean, you can't blame him, as he's always wanted to stay with his owner. I mean, that's his personality. But now he's reunited with his girlfriend, so why would he want to leave her? So this could either mean two things. Woody and Forky end up returning to Bonnie with Bo, or Woody leaves everyone with Bo, which isn't as unusual as you would think. If you consider what he did at the end of Toy Story 3, where he gave up Andy, it would be the same. Only this time he'd be giving up Bonnie and his friends, which he was prepared to do when he thought he was going to college. We then finally get to see the rest of the toys, and we see they're obviously worried about Woody being lost, so they set out to find them just like in Toy Story 2. But it seems it's only Buzz who has left, and the other toys are all staying where they are, as we only see Buzz jump out of the window, and he's the only other toy apart from Woody, Bo and Forky who we see at the fun fair, and all the other toys we can see with Bonnie when she's worried about Forky and Woody being missing later. Next, we see who Bo Peep has been hanging around with while she's been away, and we see a whole room of loads of new toys. We see how Bo has been living in this place, and hear how she's been trying to persuade Woody that it's okay to change and that he doesn't need to go back to Bonnie.
Woody, there's plenty of kids out there. Sometimes change can be good.
We next see Bonnie, but I reckon this is the trailer trying to trick us again, and that this is a scene before all the previous scenes we've just been talking about with Bo, and it looks like she's running into the camper van, so she hasn't seen her toys are missing yet. Maybe she's stopping at some sort of service station, and we can tell it is a scene from before all that Bo stuff, as it also goes back to a scene with the dolls, which we know happens before we see Bo. Plus, we can see the camper van driving underneath a sign that says Grand Basin, which we know from earlier on the trailer is where the antique shop is. We then finally see Buzz drifting to the fun fair, which means he must have climbed up somewhere high, then jumped off, as we know he can only drift and cannot fly. Then finally, we see a flashback, which is actually really big if you think about it. We see young Andy again, which must be a flashback for Woody. This is amazing as we finally see what young Andy looks like with the present animated technology that we have. As in 1985 and 1998, when Toy Story 1 and 2 came out, technology to animate humans wasn't really there, and it was really hard to animate them. So this is actually really incredible that we can finally see what the original creators of Toy Story really wanted Andy to look like, as they've animated him with modern technology. We then see Buzz tied up onto a store wall, and he was probably put up there by the owner of the shop, and this is where we see the two toys we saw from a previous trailer with Buzz. Also, we can see an Easter egg for Coco, as we can see a guitar with a skull on it, and that's on the right hand corner. We see some more clips of the dolls, then we see Woody and Bo together under the car, which we talked about before, and it's raining. And Bo is still in her old costume, and Woody looks speechless. So this looks like the scene when they are first going to be reunited properly. We finally then see a flashback to the end of Toy Story 3 with Woody saying this.
I was made to help a child. I don't remember it being this hard.
Now that just really sums up what this movie is going to be about. Just that one line from that trailer. Now that basically is what the plot of this movie is going to be. What Woody has just said there just sums it all up, and I think you can all work out for yourself what he's trying to say there. So guys, that was a full analysis of this new trailer for Toy Story 4, and it is just making me even more excited for this movie. If you did enjoy this video, then please like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to go and see the full trailer, I will leave a link to it in the description down below, and tell us in the field section down below if you noticed anything else about this trailer which could tell us more about the upcoming movie. And also, while you're down there, why don't you tell us if you're excited for Toy Story 4, because we here at Gate of Theories are extremely excited. I literally cannot wait. I'm speechless. I'm like what Woody was when he first sees Bo in this trailer. So if you did enjoy this video, then make sure that you have also subscribed to this channel, and I will see you guys later.